Have you ever wondered what it actually takes to make an animated movie? Not just the film, but everything that goes to it, the whole process of it.
That's exactly what this podcast is about.
Welcome to the Animation Blueprint. I am Stella.
And I'm Simon. I've spent the last 12 years working in the visual effects industry.
Me and Simon, we thought we're gonna make our first animated short, and we want to document the whole journey.
As we take this journey step by step, we'll be inviting industry experts, super talented artists, directors, producers, and many others. And let's get started.
All right. So, why did we decide to do this podcast, Simon?
So, we've been talking about making an original animated film for a while. We realized there's so much that happened before anyone sees the finished movies, right? And we thought it would be interesting to document the process. Honestly, we're learning as we go. We don't have everything figured out. And I think that's more interesting than pretending we do. The tech world is changing so fast right now because we forget how things used to be done before. We want to document every single step. We're going to, mesh up the traditional animation workflows with the latest AI tech and see how those formulas collide. You're going to see our mistakes, our wins, and how we pivot based on feedbacks from you guys and industry pros. Think of it as the art of failing.
Yeah, that sounds nice. The art of failing. But it isn't really failing, right? Once you try things, you're gonna learn along the
We
way.
progress.
So you're
Yes.
not gonna really fail. You're still getting something out of it.
So it's an animated film. Why did we choose the animated film? Think about like a painting. There's no right or wrong arguments for choosing a brush over a knife. It's just about what works. For this project, we choose 3D animation because it gives us absolute creative freedom. We don't have to worry about booking the locations or building physical sets in a 3D space. If you can dream it up, you can actually build from scratch. The only real limits is our own imagination.
Yeah, that's true. With the animated movies, you can do a lot. Like you can express your emotions to the fullest through art and through movie. There is not really a limitation to it, right? You can do anything that you can imagine as long as your engine allows.
Why not just keep doing the client works, right? And I don't know. Don't get me wrong, but client work is great. There's a real satisfaction in solving other people's creative problems and pitching the right suggestion. It's a totally different type of creativity with clients. You're managing a workflow, but with your own project, you're creating your entire world, the characters and the stories, and delivering a complete experience from scratch. Eventually, just get this itch to uh, building something that is your 100%. It's yours.
Yeah, right. Like there's always that feeling of wanting to tell your story, right?
Yes, I think the first time I heard about your story, it was fascinating, and I just like wanted to turn your imagination into a reality, right? The ownership itself will be on us. We're not working for someone else. This is work, right? And we can exchange feelings with the work, and we have full flexibility while we're doing this because it's your own ideas, and I'm adding my own ideas too, and then we can adjust along the way and tell stories to everyone who's watching it.
Yeah, that's true. So what scares us the most when it comes to this project? For you, maybe it's more familiar, but I want to hear it from you because you've done it before in a way. So what is like the one thing that you think we're gonna face and is scaring us?
Scaring thing will be just like you said, unknown, because I have experience working on other people's films. We were always guided and directed by the producers and the directors. But in this time, we have to somewhat work, actually get our hands on to our works, but at the same time, we have to direct, we have to manage, and we have to direct people to actually to go to a certain way. And we do have a story, but sometimes we're going to be challenged about the technical side, whether our imaginations could be actually become reality by our tools and our skills. But I'm sure we have experience. There are tons of people who have experience around us, and it's pretty much the matter of like how we collaborate with everyone.
So we decided to make a short animated movie. Why? Why a short and not a feature film, for example. Because for me, as a director, as a story writer, I would love to have a feature film. Like, I think everyone's goal when they start to do or they want to have a movie done, they want to do a feature film, right? So you suggested to do a short first. Why?
So I think the few of the difference between the short film and the feature film would be the feature film is actually the length. That's what people are familiar with when they're watching the entire movie from the theater, or how they gets distributed as a feature film length. Pretty much about an hour and a half or something. That's what we call. But short film could be, I don't know, as short as 5 minutes to maybe 15 minutes. And it's actually we're just only focusing on the impact, how
Yeah, this is
the
what I was gonna
movies will
say. Is there enough
create.
time to tell the story? A
I think
short
so,
movie?
because if you are watching some of the music videos, right, that's even like shorter than the short movies. Maybe a
Yeah, like
song
three
is
minutes, three and a
3 minutes, and it still maintains the story, and it's kind of, most of them could be more abstract, but some music videos, they also contains the whole story in it. So I think with the dialogues and the sound and the plots and characters, environments and all that, I think 15 minutes is good enough time to actually tell what we want to tell to the people.
And what do we get from this podcast? Like, what do we want to achieve from this podcast? Why are we doing it?
The main reason why we're doing this podcast is because we want to reveal the process of how to make the animated short film, right? So it's good for any sort of kind of viewers who enjoys those processes, right? Watching something come to life is just a fun process for everyone. And remember when we used to watch animated film, heavy CGI movies, and just wonder how on earth they make this, right?
Yes, I
Did
used to
they make
wonder
it?
that before I got in this industry. I was always wondering it, especially when I was a kid. I was looking at the movies. Now, how do they do this? I want to do this when I grow up. But I had a very long break throughout these years. I never thought I'm going to get into this at all. I just wondered how they're done. But when I start studying it and started to realize how they're actually done, it's so beautiful, but in the same time, so difficult. Technically, not only technically, but yeah, mostly technically.
Yeah, but those techniques were always like revealed in, I don't know if you remember, like if you watch one of those DVDs, right? They always come with the special features where they, showing all the process, interviewing all the VFX supervisors and crews and everyone who was involved in the process of making the film.
Yeah.
And that's also another fun and joy of what we want to watch for the DVDs. But after the DVD is all gone, we are sort of like everything is kind of scattered. We actually have to find on our own to see those processes in on YouTube or something like that. But it was a fun part for me, watching some of those DVDs. We sort of want to
Yeah.
bring that same kind of experience again for people to enjoy through different like content. It's a podcast, and sharing those experiences together.
Yeah. And maybe when they do that, they will realize that it's not actually a magic to start a studio or start a movie. It's just like a lot of decisions, trials and errors, but persistence, right? You have to be persistent, like everything else in life, not just when you do a movie. But I think like persistence is key
Yeah.
to success. Yeah. So I don't think that there will ever be a perfect moment to do this, right? So I think now that the industry is a little bit unsecure and a little bit slow, maybe it's the best time for someone to start doing what they actually like because they have more time, but they can also experiment, right? This could be a good chance and a good time to experiment where you stand, what you want to do. And also in the time where there is a lot of content everywhere, there is a lot of content like in the internet, on media, on TV. Maybe you want to find your path of what fits better for you. So I think this is going to be a good experience for both of us.
Because if a good sort of art format stays forever, it's not just the
Yeah.
painting, but some of the movies, old time classic movies. I think it's matter of a story and how they get made. People really don't too much importance of what kind of technique or medium that they used. In the end, it's everything is about the story and those tools and the technologies about to help our to tell the story. So
Yes, the stories that we grew up with, they shaped us, they shaped our childhood. It's not only when you are a kid, like you can watch animated movies at all ages. It depends if you can actually relate to the stories. So this is also what we want to do. We want to build something memorable, but we want to say it through art. This is our form of saying things and our way of expressing it.
an animation studio, is that what our goal is about?
I think our main goal is to build strong foundation of creating stories, original stories, and bring them to life for the people to see. How are you gonna make it valuable? What are you gonna bring through it? This is not just about the studio. This is about other people. This is about other artists. We want to include everybody to work on this project and hopefully on upcoming projects. Let's talk a little bit about animation, right? Because this is what the whole thing is about now. It's about animation. So we all know that animation is about moving characters around, right, Simon?
Mhm.
But what is it really? Like, can you tell a little bit of story or something that you know about animation?
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse? Okay.
So we
Toy
all grew up
Story.
with.
Oh, there is a Toy Story 5 now on theaters.
Yes. Have you
Never
watched it
ends.
yet? No. So Toy Story was one of the first animated movies produced by
She's
Pixar.
here.
Hi.
Sigrid.
Want it to be on
Sorry, guys.
camera.
Yeah.
And Tom and Jerry. Where's Jerry, Secret?
Jerry? Yeah.
Oh, it's there. It's a monkey, not a mouse. Finger monkey.
Okay, sorry. You were saying?
It's cute. Yeah, it's animated movies. It requires computer graphics, just like how Pixar started all this. But it was pretty successful. Everyone remembers the first time that we saw the Toy Story.
Yeah. It was my favorite movie growing up.
To be honest, I didn't really like the look of the 3D.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but I didn't understand it at that time. I
I
liked the
didn't.
story. I liked the idea of the dolls moving and all the toys.
Yeah,
I was very young. So,
I'm similar to your age.
yeah, 1 year older.
Yeah. So I kind of like more of the 2D animations, such as Lion King,
Oh, yeah. Those are classics.
mainly because I was more
Yes.
used to watch the Japanese animes when I
Mhm.
was growing up. Because by the time when I came to Canada, there weren't many animations from Japan or Korea in Canada to consume. Everything was all Marvel, Pixar,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
half realistic
It
style.
might also be one of the reasons why in Albania we didn't watch too many anime as well. Because, like,
Mhm.
most of the stuff we watch on TV, it's like Disney. And so I didn't really grow up with anime.
But
It
every
became,
Sunday morning, they were playing Disney, and I kind of remember like watching those. And the first time that I saw something that blew my mind in terms of the CGI technique was Star Wars Phantom Menace. I know everyone is not saying a good word about that movie, but for me, it was fascinating. And at the same time, they were developing all the games, and I used to, play. But all those concepts and the worlds, how big the world is, that all the designs that they were showing is fascinating for me. So it was one of the
yeah.
movies that I lastly watched right before I leave South Korea in 1999 with my friends. So that kind of came into my mind pretty strong. So I think that kind of leaded me to be in this industry too.
But you used to do VFX before, right? Like visual effects for movies. Is that because
When I
you,
was like high school.
no, when you were in kindergarten?
Yeah, I kind of like to watch some of the videos, right? Back in the days, there were VHSs, and in Korea, they used to rent those instead of
Hmm.
you collecting them. But I think everything that I watched was about, shooting the laser guns or, lightsabers and things like that. I think I would say, like, partially, I was enjoying how the movie was made
Yeah,
with the special effects.
with a special. You work on some great movies, though.
I think so. What kind of movies?
What
Like,
was it? So 10?
that was the latest one that we worked on.
John Wick, right?
John Wick was the first one, the very first one that I started.
Oh, we have a famous guy here. I'm joking. He was just working there with the documents. It's just some file in the office.
So, and you as a director, what is your greatest concern beside the budget?
My greatest concern about this movie is bringing my idea to life.
Hmm.
How to execute it properly.
Hmm.
Like, I'm a little bit afraid if you're really gonna understand what I want from this movie.
Mhm.
Like, because I have everything in my mind, but it's very, very difficult for me to visualize everything, how it can be done on a 3D, right?
So let's say it could be a 3D, but we can say, how can we bring this into motion picture world, first of all?
Yeah.
Whether 3D or 2D, it's a matter of a style, I'd say, and the method or approach. But at the same time, showing something in and certain angles and the speed, colors, all of those. I think that's something that we have to really study about. I can suggest that some of the people who's going to be joining us for next episode will be someone who knows how to create the storyboard. So basically turning your ideas and your imagination into reality, at least as a starting point in the picture format in drawings.
Yeah, there's gonna be much easier to create an idea, to visualize the story, right?
We will be editing those into the animatic, which is the moving video format of the storyboard, so that we can judge how fast the shot will be, how fast the character is moving in the shot, like few frames, right? 1 or 2 frames. Because if the character is moving from left to right, then we gotta have to know if the character is moving left to right, and then should the camera follow the characters, or if the camera stays. It depends on the stories, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they adjust their ideas as they, because in their imagination they think it would work, but if we actually turn it into a motion picture format, then sometimes it could be looking awkward, and then there will be some parts that we want to fix it. So I think it's important process to actually start with the storyboard and turn that into animatics, and we put some sound effects and some dialogues in there, some music, so we can get a general
Yeah.
idea of
Just
the
to get the
direction.
idea. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But it can always change along the way.
It could,
There
yes.
is a lot of back and forth
Mhm.
with the artists,
Mhm.
right? Until you get what you really want.
Yes.
But also your vision can change over time.
And these days, more and more, the studios are turning the animatics into a very rough format of 3D animation, which is called the visualizations or pre-visualizations. So you're starting to lay things out inside of the 3D scene. If there's a building, then you put a cube or boxes. So yeah, pre-visualization stage is very important, that you're turning the animatic into a very rough format of 3D animation, and you're starting to lay things out with basic cubes or some cones, and you're actually putting little dummy that represents the character, and then you're actually doing the slight animation inside of the 3D scene, and the length of each shot has to be matching with how you edited inside of the animatic that you used the
Yeah.
storyboard to turn into the video.
Yeah. It has to match, right?
Yes. So every shot has to be already promised and on its length, and then you're basically replacing every shots and scenes of the storyboard, and replace them with the previous, and later on, basically, if we upgrade the look of the previous or replacing with the actual assets that we're going to be using, extra characters and extra props, then and we render it out, that's eventually it's going to be becoming a finished work, right? So the timing has to be already kind of like set and promised from
It looks
the
so simple when you say it, right? Once we replace everything, it's going to be finished.
yeah.
But this process of replacing these things might take like 2 years of working every day, like a lot of people working on it.
To make 15
It's not
minutes,
just like
it could be.
replace this and it's done. That would be nice, but no. There's a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of back and forth, a lot of reviewing, a lot of decisions that have to be made in order for you to go to the next step. So what are like the steps of making an animated short movie when it comes to the production? When it comes to pre-production, so we have 3 stages, right? We have pre-production, production, and post-production.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about all of them, all of the stages shortly? Like what is the whole?
So up until now, I was explaining about the storyboard and the pre-visualization. Those are all pre-production stage. And when we actually get into the production stage, we have to start creating our characters based on the designs and the concept that the character designer and artist came up with.
Just said there. No, she just wants to listen. She wants to learn how the movie
Yeah,
is made.
of course.
She looks like the mic though. They could be siblings. I'm listening.
Yeah. So I was explaining about the production stage where we actually have to start building our own characters based on the concept that the character designers came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting to modeling them. Maybe we can start with using Maya or ZBrush to sculpt them. The props that go with the character, their clothing, their hats or accessories and all that.
Yeah.
And the same way, we have to build the entire environment. If there's houses or interior of the scene that
Mhm.
where the characters takes place, any trees or rocks, all of those things. Well, there's a huge set of libraries where we can buy them. But if we have a certain concept or a certain look that we want to achieve, then
Yeah.
most of the props has to be modeled
Yeah.
and customized, right?
Yeah.
And
original.
after that is basically you have to move the characters and the cameras around in the scene. So that's when the animation actually started to kicking in. And of course, you have to color them and texture them. You have to rig the characters so that they can move.
Yeah. To put the
and
skeleton on the
skeleton,
model
yes. Yeah.
and make it move.
And then you put the lightings in there. If it's a natural light, you put the sunlight and the HDRIs because it's basically representing the realistic skies and the materials that goes with each every props. Because skins has some sort of distinct look where you are going in front of the lights.
Yeah.
Then your ears are becoming kind of red. So we call
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
subsurface scattering.
Yeah.
Those are all affected by how you creating the shaders for each every
Yeah, the materials.
yes. Finally, you render it out. So it used to be taking a lot of steps to render things out, and it took a lot of resources and money and time. But now we have some pretty cool tools such as Unreal Engines or something that can do the real-time rendering.
So how about when it comes to the artistic quality, comparing these softwares, does it matter or is just a choice?
I think it depends on what kind of concept you have, and you gotta have to test few things out before we actually make the final decision on the renderer, because it's like you're choosing the pigment if you're a painter, right? There's many different types of brands or the companies that they make the oil paints, right? And some artists are actually looking for certain brands on their painting and the colors. So same thing for the renderers. They have many different renderers created by many different vendors, companies, and it's a matter of how you choose them that can go best with your own concept. And yeah, and when it comes to the post-production in animation, we call it compositing all the light passes that's been rendered out. So sometimes you want to make the characters key light a little brighter, dim down the backlights or things like that. So you get basically all the controls of the lights and the colors and
also change the mood of the whole movie in post-production, right? You cannot do it while you're rendering. You have to do it in post-production.
yeah, once you render things out, it's there are limitation to change. Let's say you cannot change the camera angle that's already been animated and moved. But you could change the intensity of the lights and a little bit of the color of your skin and things like that can be done in post-productions, as well as if you want to put explosions or sparks on, or some kind of smoke and the mist, those all can be added up on top of the passes that's already been rendered. So
that's interesting.
And it actually makes a huge difference by putting post-production effects into it.
For sure, sure. You also have to put music, right, and sound effects. This is also a very important part of the production. Is this also done in post-production, I believe?
I would call it's a part of the production, but it's not the part of the image processing. So I think it's done by a completely different team, different people, but it really means a lot for the film itself, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you close your eyes and you listen to certain sound.
Yeah.
That's
You
where
can
your imagination starts to
tell a
explode.
story through all of this, right? Through
Yes.
music, through sounds, through effects, through lights, through
Hmm.
script. Like all
Yes.
these elements contribute
Hmm.
to a final movie.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait. I am very excited for this podcast and for this project. I cannot wait for you guys to share your thoughts and your comments below on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can go to our website as well. Our studio, hey Sigrid, our studio is Post Heaven, not the metal band. There is a metal band on YouTube called Post Heaven. So you have to go to Post Heaven Studios. Subscribe, like the video if you want, comment, let us know what you think, let us know what you want to listen next, what you want to learn, and we'll be happy to share it and talk about it and also have people from the industry talk about it. So we can make a nice community here with all of you. If you are a student, if you are an animator who is just starting out, if you are a person who wants to know more about animation, this is your place. Let's do this and let's do it together and let's learn.
Ciao.
Ciao!